final season of The Boys is shaping up to be one of the biggest TV releases of the year. This trailer honestly got me extremely hyped, and I'm feeling very confident that the show will wrap up its story in a really satisfying way. There were several references to the original comics hidden throughout this trailer, and we also got even more evidence that Ryan may receive the same kind of treatment that Mark Grayson received in Invincible. So in this video, we're going to break everything down in detail. Welcome back, everyone. If you enjoy deep dives into shows like The Boys, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications, because I'll be covering the entire final season here on the channel. Now let's start with something that might happen very early in the season. I think A-Train might die very early in the final season of The Boys. The trailer shows Homelander chasing him, and if you pay close attention, you'll notice that A-Train barely appears in the trailer at all. The creators of the show have already said that since this is the final season, many important characters will say goodbye, and I believe A-Train could be one of the first. At the end of Season 4, all of the boys were captured and imprisoned. And in this trailer, we see that Homelander has created literal concentration camps for anyone who opposes him. He even calls them freedom camps. Starlight and A-Train have joined forces against this regime. So my theory is that A-Train and Starlight will rescue the boys from these camps. But A-Train probably won't survive the mission. There's a shot in the trailer where Annie is absorbing electricity, and another scene where we see her landing after flying. I believe both of these moments happen in the first episode, when she powers up to save the boys. We also see A-Train running inside the freedom camp while guards shoot at him. Now, of course, since he's a speedster, it's extremely difficult for normal humans to hit him, so he'll probably succeed in freeing them. But once Homelander realizes that A-Train and Starlight are responsible for the escape, he will start hunting them down. There's also a scene where Annie tells Marie and Jordan Lee that they need to run, probably because she knows Homelander is coming for her. And then there's a really incredible shot of Homelander flying between trees at an insane speed. That scene gives off a very specific vibe. He's chasing someone fast. The only reason Homelander would be flying that fast is because someone equally fast is trying to escape him. And unfortunately, that probably means A-Train doesn't make it out alive. The trailer also makes it very clear that Homelander has finally reached the godlike status he always believed he deserved. At one point, he says that his power has reached levels nobody ever imagined, but that he still has a greater destiny ahead of him. And when he resurrects Soldier Boy, he tells him that they need to prepare America for his rise. Then the final scene of the trailer shows Homelander sitting inside the Oval Office of the White House. This is actually a huge reference to the comics. In the comics, Homelander's final arc also takes place in the White House, where he kills the president and takes control of the country, with Supes dominating the entire United States. And it really looks like the show is heading in the same direction. The final battle against Homelander may actually take place inside the White House, which honestly makes me even more excited for the final season. Even the freedom camps appear to be another comic reference. In one of the comic covers, we see humans being marched into massive warehouse-like buildings, while Supes fly above them, watching over them like prison guards. The message is very clear. Supes see themselves as superior beings, while humans are treated as a lower species. And this ideology has already been building up since Gen V Season 2, where we saw how humans working at Godolkin University were being mistreated. This is Homelander's new regime, and the show is clearly adapting the final arc from the comics. The trailer also reveals something extremely important. Homelander is searching for V1, the original version of Compound V. And if he gets it, he could become immortal. And honestly, it looks like he will succeed. In the previous teaser, we saw a scene where Homelander stands in a field shooting laser beams into the sky, almost like he's experiencing some kind of massive power surge. And on the ground behind him, we can see a used syringe. Soldier Boy appears to be there with him as well. In the trailer, we also see Homelander and Soldier Boy entering what looks like a medical lab, which might be where Homelander finally gets his hands on the original Compound V. Now, you might be asking, why does Homelander need this? Well, Homelander isn't actually immortal. He ages. We've even seen scenes in the show where he removes gray hairs, suggesting he's slowly getting older. In Gen V, we also learned that Homelander was created through Project Odessa, a program led by Thomas Godolkin that attempted to create Supes with god-level powers. Only 2 people survived that experiment, Homelander and Marie. The Compound V used in Project Odessa is a variant derived from V1, but it isn't the original formula. Supes who were injected with V1 itself become immortal and stop aging, like Soldier Boy and Stormfront. However, immortality doesn't mean they can't be killed. Stormfront, after all, didn't exactly survive the series. Homelander wants the original V1 to stop his aging completely and boost his powers even further. And based on the trailer, it looks like he's going to get exactly what he wants. But something else caught my attention. There's a moment where another person is injected with V1 while Sister Sage watches. So the question is, Who is that person? The trailer also reveals something pretty shocking. Butcher might kill Cindy. Remember Cindy? She first appeared in Season 2 as one of the most powerful supes in the series, and she briefly returned in the Season 4 finale, where she tried to capture Starlight before Annie escaped by flying away. In the trailer, we see Butcher completely embracing his superpowered side. He no longer seems to be struggling with hallucinations, and we see him killing someone with his tentacles. Then, in another shot, he throws someone against the ceiling with incredible force and kills them instantly. And if you look closely, it appears to be Cindy. But Cindy might not be the only one he plans to kill, because Butcher's real plan is much more extreme. He wants to inject Homelander with the soup-killing virus and start a global pandemic that wipes out all soups. And that's incredibly dangerous, because not every soup is evil. Starlight is a soup. So I think there will be a moment when the boys themselves turn against Butcher. At the end of Season 4, the group was already divided because of Butcher's choices. They will still unite against Homelander, because he's a complete psychopath. But if Butcher tries to kill every soup on Earth, it's very likely that the boys will stop him too. There's also a scene where Butcher throws a car directly at Soldier Boy, which is going to be absolutely insane. Soldier Boy is extremely vengeful and furious at the boys after they betrayed him and froze him in cryogenic sleep. But now Butcher has powers of his own. And seeing those two fight will be spectacular. There's also a moment in the trailer that comic readers immediately recognized. In the comics, Homelander and Soldier Boy actually sleep together. And the scene in the trailer where they're talking references that relationship. In the show, Homelander has unfrozen Soldier Boy, his father, to help him conquer the world. Homelander's reaction is absolutely priceless. I honestly don't think anyone has ever managed to make Homelander look that shocked and uncomfortable before. Back when Soldier Boy was first introduced in Season 3, many fans wondered whether the show would adapt the strange relationship between them from the comics. Instead, the show decided to make Soldier Boy Homelander's father. But I'm pretty sure the writers included this joke in the final season as a way of telling comic readers, "We didn't forget about you." In the comics, Soldier Boy is actually a pathetic character who desperately wants to join the Seven, so he does whatever Homelander asks him to do. There's even a scene where they're lying in bed together, and Soldier Boy asks if that night means he'll finally be accepted into the Seven. Homelander replies, "Maybe next year." It's not romantic at all. Homelander simply enjoys seeing how far people are willing to go to please him. And finally, the trailer gives us more evidence that Ryan may experience the same brutal moment Mark Grayson faced in Invincible. Homelander has already been angry at Ryan since Season 4, especially after he found a photo of Butcher among Ryan's belongings. In the trailer, Homelander says, "For those who seek to destroy me, the unbelievers, and the traitors, I offer annihilation." And right when he says traitors, the trailer cuts to a close-up of Ryan's face. That makes it very clear to me that Ryan will eventually turn against his father. In fact, I believe the final battle might involve Ryan and Butcher teaming up against Homelander and Soldier Boy. There's no way Ryan's story ends with him becoming a villain. And that brutal scene where Homelander is repeatedly punching someone might actually be Ryan. In the previous teaser, we saw Homelander deliver multiple punches, which means the person surviving those hits must be extremely durable. Ryan is one of the few characters capable of surviving that. We also saw that Homelander hesitates before delivering the final blow. And the only person who could make Homelander hesitate like that is his own son. I don't think Ryan will die, but just like Mark Grayson in Invincible, he's probably going to be severely beaten. And finally, the trailer also teased a supernatural reunion. We see Jensen Ackles, Jared Padalecki, and Misha Collins sharing a scene together again, just like the old days when they played Dean, Sam, and Castiel. Even though we still don't know exactly what's happening in that scene, it's honestly a really fun moment. We don't know much about Misha Collins' character yet, including whether he'll be a supe or not. But we do know that Jared Padalecki will play Mr. Marathon, the original speedster of the Seven before A-Train joined the team. He's been mentioned several times in the show's lore, but we've never actually seen him until now. So, the final season of The Boys is shaping up to be massive. There were theories that Marie might defeat Homelander, but that would make no sense. If a spin-off character suddenly shows up and kills the main villain of the original series, that would easily become one of the worst endings in TV history. And I'm absolutely convinced that The Boys will deliver a much better finale than that. There are a lot of clues hidden in this trailer, and if the show really follows some of the comic storylines we talked about here, the final season could be absolutely insane. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because I'll be covering the entire final season of The Boys right here.